Now before I jump into Mortal Kombat 3, I would like to take a real quick minute and backtrack back to Mortal Kombat 2. You see, I forgot to mention one small detail within the game. I didn't realize I left it out until I uploaded the first part. It's not a really big deal, but I do think it's worth mentioning, especially if I want to do the history of these games justice. It's important to me as a critic and a gamer to hit every aspect of the Mortal Kombat series. In the last video, I mentioned that in MK2, players can perform 2 different fatalities as well as a friendship. But what I forgot to mention was, in addition to that, players can also perform stage fatalities as well. There was also a stage fatality in the original game too, but it was easy to do. Just simply uppercut at the end when you're on the bridge stage. In Mortal Kombat 2, however, it's a little different. You must hit the right button combination to pull it off. Also, besides the 2 stage fatalities, I forgot to mention the fucking babalities. I would like to go on record and say that the babalities are the single most dumbest thing to ever be put in a Mortal Kombat game. Even dumber than the MK Kart minigame, but I'll hit on that in a later video. Basically, the idea of a babality is at the end of the match, when you're going to finish somebody, you turn them into a baby. Yeah, a fucking baby. I'm serious. Who the hell comes up with this shit? So what I'm thinking is, instead of a player doing a fatality at the end of the match, why not do something different? Why not turn the player into a baby? Yeah, think about that. A baby. Ain't that a great idea? We can call it like a babality or something. So what do you think, Mr. Boone? I want to find that guy so I can kick him in the fucking balls. I mean, damn, a fucking baby? Really? Now that I got that dumb shit out of the way, I can get into Mortal Kombat 3. It was released in 1995, 2 years after MK2, and just like 2, MK3 adds new features not seen in previous titles. The gameplay got a new makeover. Well, sort of. Now players can run by hitting the run button on the controller. This concept was supposed to help players fight against other players who like to block and stay on one side of the stage. Another new addition to the gameplay was the combos. Although you can't link a lot of hits into big combos, you can get a nice start by running and hit a nice 3-hit combo at the start of the match. Also in MK3, some stages are made so that players can be knocked through the surface of the stage. Now I know what you're thinking. Was there any updates on the fatalities or any other new finisher moves? And the answer is yes. The fatalities and the friendships and the fucking babalities are all back in this game. Players can still choose between 2 fatalities with addition of 3 stage fatalities. And of course, since it's a new Mortal Kombat game, they added new finishing moves. The new finishing move is called the Animality. Basically, your character turns into an animal and kills him in some way.
Shang Tsung wins flawless victory. Animality.
They're not very good, but it's not completely stupid as the damn babalities or the friendships. Some of the animalities are alright, but for the most part they're just not good. Many of the animals don't fit the characters' personalities, and as a result looks absolutely ridiculous. In Mortal Kombat 3, the character roster got much bigger. Now you can play as 14 playable characters, 7 new characters, and 7 original characters from previous games. The first big complaint about MK3 is the fact that Midway dropped all the ninja characters. Yeah, that's right. All of them. Scorpion, Reptile, Smoke, they're all gone. Sub-Zero was still there, but it wasn't the same Sub-Zero we all knew and loved. This Sub-Zero was supposed to be the brother of the original Sub-Zero, and he looked nothing like him. Nope, instead of giving us the fan-favorite ninjas, we get a brother and 3 cyborgs. Now, I'm not saying Cyrax and Sector are all that bad, either is Cyborg or Smoke for that matter. All 3 had their good points, but adding them in place of the cult favorites is ludicrous. In fact, I remember being in 6th grade when the game first came out, and all of my friends were pissed that Scorpion wasn't in the game. Yeah, 6th graders. Pissed off 6th graders. And being dumb as we were at that age, we just wrote it off as the ninjas were turned into cyborgs and never mentioned it again. But every time we chose a character and seen Scorpion and the other ninjas missing, a little piece of us died. Simply speaking, MK3 just didn't hold up to what fans expected. Sure, the graphics looked a little better, and some of the new characters were kinda cool, but the game was a hit and miss on so many levels. For example, the run button. It was a good idea, but it didn't work for the 2D style that Mortal Kombat was all about. The run button was really only used for a quick advantage in the opening match if you could pull it off first. The animalities were okay to look at the first time, but the one solid color scheme that the animals had looked both fake and ridiculous. The game can't be all bad, right? I mean, there had to be something good about it. What about the story? Well, the story for Mortal Kombat 3 was one of the redeeming factors within the game. This time around, players weren't forced to fight in a tournament to decide the outcome of the 2 rounds. No, this time all hell was released in a deadly battle between good and evil, a war between Outworld and Earth's realms. Pissed off after losing back-to-back tournaments, Shao Kahn has his Queen Sindel resurrected on Earth's realm. By doing this, Kahn created a merger between Earthrealm and Outworld. Shao Kahn then sent a group of exterminators to take out Earth's forces, and this time Raiden is unable to help as he is powerless due to the 2 realms merging. Overall, the new characters were stupid, the animalities were a damn joke, and most of the fatalities looked as if there was no thought put in them. The combos were kinda cool but served no real purpose and didn't help deepen the gameplay. The one bright side to the game, if you want to call it a bright side, is the return of Sonya and Kano, who was left out of Mortal Kombat 2 and was only shown chained up next to Shao Kahn in one of the stages. But that was quickly overshadowed by the absence of Johnny Cage, Baraka, Scorpion, and other fan favorites. Later that year, Midway released another version of Mortal Kombat 3 called Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. This time Midway learned from their previous fuck-ups and put the ninjas back in. However, Shiva is missing from the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis version, but personally, it wasn't that big of a deal. Another improvement to the Ultimate version was they got rid of the lame-ass animalities. Sure, I wish they would have dropped the damn babalities as well, but what you gonna do? The animalities were substituted with a much cooler brutality. The brutalities allowed you to string together a series of complex combo moves to pull off one brutal and deadly finisher. I have to tell you, it took me a long time to finally nail a brutality, and when I did, I felt fucking cool. I felt like a video game god. Yeah! Own it, bitch! You see that? You see that? Yeah! Besides the new cast, or old cast, however you want to look at it, and the brutalities, Midway also added a few new game modes, such as 2-on-2 and the 8-player tournament mode. Also, I should add, before I forget, is that some characters got new moves while others were adjusted to fit the upgraded version of the game. The story for Ultimate remained the same as the original MK3, but the new adjustments made it a much better product. The only problem I had with the game was that all the new improvements should have never been needed. Everything in the Ultimate version should have been in the original Mortal Kombat 3 version. There should never have been 2 versions of this game. However, I do need to give Midway credit. They tried something new, and when they realized it didn't work, they quickly released what the fans wanted to see. So for that, I thank you, Midway. Well, that about does it for Mortal Kombat 3. In the next video, we'll wrap up things in the 2D era with Mortal Kombat Trilogy and take our first step into the 3D realm.